Advaita Chandra Chaya Kaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Kaura Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nisha Vatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sanyakam Grantera Arambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoya Vegana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Nijavanchita Purana Jaya Jaya Kripamoy Jagatiranath Sarva Jagatira Kuru Shubhadrishtipad Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Advaita Acharya Nityaānanda Srinivasa Gadadhara Damodara Murari Haridasa Ariyata Chaitanya Krishnira Bhakta Gana Bhakti Bhavi Shirodhari Sabara Charana Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for taking out your valuable time to join the Chaitanya Caritāmṛta reading today, as today is Monday, and as we decided, on Mondays we will do the Chaitanya Caritāmṛta reading. We are reading Adi Lila chapter 1, Canto Adi Lila. It's chapter 5, the glories of Lord Nityaānanda Balarāma. We have read quite a few verses about Lord Balarāma, and this whole thing is basically the elaboration of text number 1.7. The 7th verse of Adi Lila is basically about Lord Balarāma, and this is the whole explanation. So let's go in more detail about Lord Balarāma, reading from text number 7. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Sankarshana Karana Toyashai Garbhodhashai Chapayo Abdhishai Sheshascha Yashamsa Kalahasa Nitya Nandakyarama Sharanam Mamastu. Sankarshana Karana Toyashai Garbhodha Shai Chapayo Abdishai Sheshascha Yashamsa Kala Sanitya Nandakyarama Sharanam Namastu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. May Shri Nityaānanda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Shesha, Nag, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and the ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. Purport. Sri Sarupa Damodar Goswami has recorded this verse in his diary to offer his respectful obeisance to Lord Nityaānanda Prabhu. This verse also appears as the 7th of the first 14 verses of the Chaitanya Caritāmṛta. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So, this is the 7th verse of Adi Lila chapter 1, text 7. And there will be a lot of elaboration about that. So, Sankarshana Karana Doshai. So the Shai, or basically Shayan, Shayanasan, Shavasan. So the three forms of the Lord, which is expansion of Balarāma only, the Karanodakshai, the lying on the causal ocean, Garbha the Udashai, lying on the Garbha ocean in every universe. From the Karanodakshai Vishnu comes the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Paya Abdhishai. Paya Abdhi is the ocean of milk. Abdhi is ocean. Paya, Payasam, right? Payasam. So you can connect with that. It's the ocean of milk. And Shai, again, who's doing Shayan there, is the Shirodakshai Vishnu. Shira is same as Paya. So the three Purusha avatars, or the three Vishnu forms here are discussed, and their amshas and kalas. Nityānanda Akhya Rama Sharanam Mama Astu. I take shelter of that Nityānanda Mahāprabhu, or Balarāma, or Ram. Sharanam Mam Astu. So as we see, this is a verse from Swarup Damodar Goswami's diary, which Prabhupada is mentioning. That means these wonderful souls also had some kind of personal collection of verses which they would read, which they would use to glorify the Lord. So it's a very nice habit to have our own collection of verses. Now we may not, of course, Swarup Damodar, eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya, and probably he wrote this verse. We may not be Sanskrit scholars, we may not know how to write verses. That's just absolutely fine. So we can just copy paste whichever verse we like, whether from Gita, from Bhāgavatam, from Śrī-Caitanya-caritāmṛta, from other scriptures which are bona fide. We can, which appeals to our heart. Oh, I really like this verse. So we can add to our prayer. We can add to our diary. We can offer that. And that way we will also develop our diary of the verses we like. And it can be different. The verse which, let's say, Bipul Prabhu likes, and it could be different from what I like, which is absolutely fine. There are thousands and thousands and tens and thousands of verses. So, but all of those are great and offering to the Lord or his devotees. Anything spoken in Bhagavad Gita is transcendental. Anything written in Bhagavatam is transcendental. So again, there's a prayer to Lord Nityananda, about whom we are discussing. So any other comments, additions we have?
So just curious to know, like ocean of milk, that I can think about the milk ocean. Milk.
Next one, text number 8.
Hare Prabhuji, I'm audible.
My speakers were on mute. Sorry, they were off actually.
Oh, okay. You can hear me, Prabhuji?
I can hear you. Yes, now.
So, Prabhuji, milk of ocean that I can think about, that is a milk formed by milk. When you say the Karan and Garbha, this is just some kind of metal substance. I know it's a spiritual world, but or it's just something philosophical, or you got my point? What does it mean, Garbha? What does it Karana?
Sure. So let's draw this. I like this. Kids like this, so I also like this. Spiritual world, okay? Let's assume all the spiritual world, right? And there are multiple planets, multiple Goloka Vrindas. So we're not discussing that. Then there is a layer of Viraja river, which separates the material world and the spiritual world. And the Lord the Karana Sagar is basically the causal ocean. which is the waters of the Viraja river only. The river which separates, this is the Viraja river, you can say Viraja, which separates. So the Karana Sagar is the same. And in that there is the Mahavishnu or the Karanadakshayi Vishnu lying on the. And then from his pores comes many other smaller universes. As he exhales, those universes come. So a lot of small universes, big universes come, right? So just imagine there are like millions of such universes where we're coming from. Whom? This personality of our beautiful Lord here lying down. And so not a very good picture, but I think you get it. So these universes are coming from him. Now each of these universes, now let's say this universe, okay? We'll just magnify this universe. Now each of these universe, where are they? They are in the Andantarastha Parama. We're just magnifying this. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. There are multiple layers of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So imagine these as multiple layers. And in this is half filled with water. This is called the Garbhodaka ocean, which is nothing but this transcendental sweat of the Lord. And here the Ananta Shesha is there, who is carrying the different planets, and the Lord is also lying here in his Garbhodaka form. You remember in this? So then from his navel comes Brahma in the Satyaloka. And then he creates Bhu, Bhava, Swa, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satya, Natala, Patala, Sutala, Vitala, Talata, Mahatala, Vasatal, Patal, the 14 planetary systems. Nam Bina Kichu Nai, Choda Bhuvan Maji. So this is all the Garbhodaka ocean. And as we discussed last time, there's one Vaikuntha here in the spiritual world. This is totally separate. But there is one secondary Vaikuntha in the material world also. And this is the Shweta Dvipa, right? Shweta Dvipa or Payasagar or Shirodakshayi Vishnu is present here in that Shweta Dvipa, the milk ocean. That's the milk ocean here. So does that help, or any additions, corrections here?
So basically, those are the Garbhodaksha and Kanaksha means liquid things. That means there's a substance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Brahmasi Yatha Shweta, what's that prayer? What? Brahma Samhita? Right? The Brahma Samhita, let's see. I'll show you. The last one. I worship that transcendental seat known as the Shweta Dvipa, where the Lord, whereas loving consorts of the Lakshmis in their unalloyed spiritual lessons practice the earnest service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover. So where do the demigods go? Where do the demigods go? Whenever there is a problem, they approach. We have discussed many times the demigods approach Lord Vishnu. Where do they go? They go here. They go here. When saying Purusha Shukta, right? They go to this planet of the Lord, Vaikuntha planet, where the Lord is present, as the Shirodakshayi form, and he's also present in the Shirodakshayi Vishnu form as the Andantarastha Paramanu Jayantarastham. So Any additions, corrections? Anyone? Mataji, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, so the spiritual world, so Mahavishnu is Karanodakasha Vishnu is not in the spiritual world, Prabhuji. He is in the Viraja river.
Well, I think the last class, where is God? Last time we had discussed this. Where is God? Right? 9th chapter. We have to go to the 9th chapter. Everything is in me, but I am not in them. Right? As Krishna says in the 9th chapter. So yes, Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam Purna Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. He is present everywhere. We can understand this from one perspective. He is present everywhere. That means he's present in each and every atom, each and every particle, each and every living being. Yet at the same time, he is present in this, always in his personal form in the Vaikuntha planets. And now Vaikuntha is also just very broad term. There are unlimited Vaikuntha planets, unlimited personalities, unlimited incarnations of the Lord, right? But amongst the topmost is the Goloka Vrindavan, where he's present in the Shyamasundar form. So all that is simultaneously present. It's not that he's present in the Vairaja river as Mahavishnu, so he's absent in the Vaikuntha. Because we are humans and we are mundane, so we think from that perspective. If I am present here, I'm not present in my office, right? Or I'm not present with my family in India, or I'm not present in Tampa. I'm present here right now at my home. But I am a limited, infinitesimal jiva. But the Lord is infinite. He can be present everywhere. At the same time, he can always be doing his wonderful Lilas. So that's what he says. And everything, I think last time, since we're talking about it, let's discuss that chapter 9, which is very important here. We covered it. Okay. Size on this, yeah. The last Gita class, session 43, we covered. Maya tatam idam sarvam, matsthani sarva bhutani. So if you see this, matsthani sarva bhutani, that means pretty much all living beings are in me. That means I am the sustainer. Now, in the very next line, he says, na cha matsthani bhutani. Right? In the previous third line, he said again, matsthani sarva bhutani. Now he's saying again, na cha matsthani bhutani. There are two contradictory lines, isn't it? Same, the rest of the line is same. The word na has been added before. So that's the same meaning that yes, he is the sustainer, but he's not like, kind of, oh, I have to now do this project. He's like just by his will, everything is happening. So in that way, he is like neutral. All these, as we just discussed, all these universes, it's not that the Supreme Lord is putting a lot of manpower, energy, and who will work, how many Brahmas will come. Just each of these, some Brahmas here have 1,000,000 heads, some have 4 heads, some have 100 heads, right? Remember that Brahma, Vimohan, Lila? All these are different sizes, universes. We are different Brahmas with different heads, with different sizes are unlimited. We cannot imagine how many of such universes are present coming from the Dima. And all this is happening very, very effortlessly. This is the opulence of the Supreme Lord, inconceivable opulence of the Supreme Lord. Right? Is that? Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. I was thinking Mahavishnu was also in the spiritual world and Viraja river is also. Maybe you clarified, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any additions? Pravir Prabhu, Nandini Mataji, want to add, correct? I misspoke. Okay. So I'll just read one more point from here. Think only your master and the sustainer, the Supreme Lord, who is Narayana, and Madhava, who lies in the body of the serpent, Ananta. He is the darling of Devaki, the hero of the demigods, the lord of the cows, and he holds a conch shell and the bow, Sharanga, and he is the husband of the goddess of fortune, Madhava. He is the controller of the universe, which he manifests from his abdomen as a pastime. What will you gain by thinking of anything else? So basically, Mukunda Mala Stotra King Kulashikar is speaking this verse in this. So thank you, Lali, for sharing that. So let's move to the next verse, text 8. Would someone like to read this one?
I can read, Prabhuji. Original devotees, Dhanur Pranam, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 8. Śrī Balarāma Gosai Mula Sankarshan Pancharup Dhori Karen Krishner Sevan. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada ki joy. Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve the Lord Krishna. So, as we know that Sankarshan is Lord Balaram, and from there Chaturbhuha started, and the same Balaram who is the Nitai in Gaur Lila, and he's serving in Krishna Lila and Gaur Lila with 5 other forms. I believe it is mentioning the 5 Rashas. In every Rashas, Lord Balaram helped Lord Krishna and Lord Nityānanda helped Lord Gauranga to assist their pastimes. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, as we discussed, that Lord Balaram is also absolute, as the Savior Bhagavan, right? In order to assist in the loving pastimes. And that's the mood of the Lord Balaram, to assist, Lila Sahaya, to help. And he helps in multiple ways. So we can also learn from this pastime that a disciple who has the real mood to serve should try to serve the spiritual master or devotees in multiple ways. Sometimes the seva may require to become a menial servant, right? Like washing the toilets, washing the pots. Sometimes it could mean giving a class. Sometimes it could mean distributing books. Sometimes it could mean, driving. Sometimes it could mean cooking. Sometimes it could mean dressing the Lord. Sometimes it could mean, outreach. Sometimes it could mean so many ways, right? Lord Balaram is the Adi Guru, so we can learn from them. The Adi Guru is teaching that whatever is required, Ananta Shesha is like the bed of the Lord, very, very comfortable bed, so that the bed adjusts according to the will of the master. Like anyone of you have such a bed that it will adjust when you turn, the bed also kind of adjusts so that to give you the most comfort, right? There's no such bed. It adjusts to when the master is sleeping. But look at Lord Balaram. So flexing ourselves, flexing our mood, flexing our services, flexing our desires to the desire of the Supreme Lord. That's basically Vrindavan. Karishyasi vachanam tvai. Krishna also says, not my will, but thy will be done, right? In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna wanted his thing to be done. I will not fight. But at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, he said, Nashta moha smritir labdha. My moha is gone. My intelligence has been rekindled. Now I will do the way you will want me to do. As Prabhupada said, Nachai, Nachai, Nachai Semati. He didn't say, okay, I will dance the way I want you to make me dance. No, I will dance the way you want me to dance. Very, very important. Right? Very, very important. And that means disciple. That means surrender. That means, giving ourselves to the will of the Supreme Lord, to the will of the superior, spiritual master, etc. As Lord Balarāma is showing here. In whatever way I can assist for the pleasure of the Lord and the devotees, I will assume that form. That does not mean like we cannot physically change our form, but at least we can be willing to adapt based on time, place, situations. And even Prabhupada showed that, right? Prabhupada showed all the senior Vaishnava as we see. Can be giving Bhagavatam class all to 5,000 people, but at the very next moment they may be cleaning toilets, right? At the very next moment they may be cooking something, they may be doing some kirtan. So I think that's a great lesson for us to adapt to serve the master. That's the best class of service. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Any more thoughts, any additions anyone has?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I was hearing this one. So we know that Lord Krishna and Radharani are Eka Atma and two bodies, so they are one. So in the similar way, I've also heard that Lord Krishna and Balarāma are also Eka Swarupa, but two bodies. Is that right understanding, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Text number 5, we read that. Eka Swarupa dohe bhinna matra kaya adya kaya vyuha Krishna lila sahaya. There are two. These two are one in the same identity. They differ only in the form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastime.
Yes, Prabhuji. So how should we understand, Prabhuji? So over there we are telling one Atma, two bodies. Here telling one Swarupa, two bodies. So just trying to understand, Prabhuji.
This also we tried to understand in the Gita class. The finite cannot understand the infinite without the will of the infinite. When the infinite will choose to reveal the finite, then the finite will understand the infinite by the mercy of the infinite. But to show our sincerity, we have to try and keep trying. And then we will come to the conclusion that we cannot understand. And then by the mercy of the Lord, by our sincere efforts, endeavors, sincerity, sadhana, seva, the Lord will reveal. And ultimately, all this jnana, etc. is there to rekindle loving devotional service. So we will get the right understanding, the right time. But ultimately, the whole goal is to develop that love, as Darshan Prabhu was also mentioning. The purpose of Gita is to develop loving devotional service. I really like that point. Similarly, the purpose of all scriptures, Bhāgavatam, Śrī any scripture, is to develop loving devotional service. It is not to prove how many shlokas I know. It is not to have intellectual understanding. That may be helpful, but if the goal is only that, then we will miss the essence, like the Dvijapatnis. Dvijapatnis had no intellectual understanding, or very little. They knew Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and all we have to do is serve the Supreme Lord. But the Brahmanas are very intelligent, lot of mantras, tantras, mudras, pujas they knew, but they forgot the essence. So I think we have discussed many times that things will be beyond our intellect, so that we have to just accept, and right time as we grow in our bhakti, Krishna will reveal and it will come to the mercy of Guru Sadhu, Vaishnavas, and the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, thanks, Prabhu. And also I heard that we will understand completely when we know that we cannot understand Krishna. So, yes, thank you.
That's a beautiful point. Thank you. Want to read the next verse?
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Homage to Srila Prabhupada. Apane karena Krishna Lila rasahaya Shrashti Lila karya kare Dhari achari kaya. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. Hare Krishna. So we can see that Lord Balarāma actually assists Lord Krishna in all of his pastimes. And in fact, we can see that in most cases he comes before Krishna and he makes everything auspicious, and also all the paraphernalia and everything is none other than Balarāma. And I think only in Rama's case, Lakshmana came afterwards, but in all the other cases, I think Balarāma comes before. Please correct me. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, let's see what are these 4 forms which Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning. Text 10. Would someone like to read who has not got chance yet?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Sure, please, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam everyone. Text 10. Srishtadik Sheba tar Aggaro Palon Shesh Rupe Kore Krishner Bividho Shebon. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Shesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. Purport: according to expert opinion, Balarāma, as the chief of the original quadruple forms, is also the original Shankarsana. Balaram, the first expansion of Krishna, expands himself in 5 forms: Mahashankarshana, Karanodakshai, Garbhodakshai, Shirodakshai, and Shesha. These 5 plenary portions are responsible for both the spiritual and material cosmic manifestations. In these 5 forms, Lord Balarāma assists Lord Krishna in his activities. The first 4 of these forms are responsible for the cosmic manifestations, whereas Shesha is responsible for personal service to the Lord. Shesha is called Ananta or unlimited because he assists the personality of Godhead in his unlimited expansions by performing an unlimited variety of services. Sri Balarāma is the servitor Godhead who serves Lord Krishna in all affairs of existence and knowledge. Lord Nityānanda Prabhu, who is the same servitor Godhead, Balarāma, performs the same service to Lord Gauranga by constant association. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So the word servitor, Godhead, is very important, as we were discussing. Sevak Bhagavan. He is Bhagavan, but in the mood to serve Krishna in different rasas, in different expansions, as mentioned the 5 expansions here, as Vipul Prabhu mentioned the 5 rasas, and in many, many rasas, sometimes as a friend, sometimes as an elder brother, who's like a father, sometimes as Ananga Manjari, the Madhurya rasa, expanding different paraphernalia like the conch, the mridanga, the flute. He broke the sannyasi danda of Lord to to say, give up all this danda vanda, saradharman parityajya, all this you don't need. You are above all these mundane, so-called sannyasi. You're the Supreme Lord. You don't need all this danda. So there's a beautiful pastime in the Danda Bhangal, Bhanjan Lila. So the Lord basically, although it may seem sometimes even contradictory that he is not acting in alignment with the will of the Lord, but to a untrained devotional eye, it may seem like that. But to great devotees who know the heart of the Lord, it's certainly the Lord. Nityānanda Prabhu knows the heart of the Lord, so he's acting ultimately to give pleasure to the Lord. Although his activities are like Avaduta, as we know, Avaduta, Nityaānanda, but still, Lord Chaitanya boldly declared that anyone who disrespects Lord Nityānanda will never get the mercy. Right? The famous Jagai Vadai pastime was about to kill the miscreants when they tried to hurt Lord Nityānanda Prabhu by their burden, by their liquor pot. So in short, adapting to serve the Lord, adapting our mood, adapting our every way to give pleasure to the Supreme Lord. As the servitor God, and Lord Balarāma is performing. What is that? Brajendra Janandana Jai, Sachisutta Hoila say, Balarāma Hoila Nithāya, the famous verse which comes again and again. The same Brajendra Nandana became Sachisutta, or the son of Sachimata, Balarāma Hoila Nithāya. Balarāma became Lord Nityānanda in this Kali Yuga 500 years back. So let's read the next one. Yes, Nandini Mataji, want to say this one?
No, Prabhu, I just want to read.
Yes, please. You can read this one.
Dandavat Pranam devotees. Sarvarupe asvadaye Krishna Sevananda. Sei Balram Gaura Sange Nityananda. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. That same Balram is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaurasundara. Back to you, Prabhu. Pretty straightforward here.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much. The bliss of serving Krishna. The bliss of serving Krishna. You can meditate upon that. Just maybe someone can share their experience, honest experience. If someone serves us, maybe nice food, maybe anything, someone may have served us. And we serve someone, right? We could have done some seva, whether massaging their feet or doing some service for them, washing their clothes, or cooking food for them, giving them prasadam. Can anyone share that experience? Which honestly gave you more joy? Right? Which gives more? We're just curious. Whatever honest response anyone wants to share. What gives more joy? Being served by others or serving others?
Serving others.
Can you share like a little bit, like elaborate, like some example or something, some experience?
Radhanath Swami says that in the yatras, we eat a lot, right? There's a lot of prasadam. They serve 10-course meal, but we don't have even capacity to digest it. But serving is so much easier. You can serve tens of people. You can serve hundreds of people, and we can, and then that actually gives real joy. Whereas we try to we are being served. I mean, we also get served prasadam, and it's actually after just eating a little, you realize your body doesn't even have capacity to enjoy or digest. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing those wonderful insights. Anyone else wants to share any experience, any thoughts coming to your mind in this connection?
So, Prabhuji, the thing is that when you do any serving for the devotees or for the Lord, one thing is that there is no anxiety, because it might be poor output from my part or good output from my part. I know I'm doing for Krishna or some devotee service, but when I do for my house, for my job, for myself, for getting Krishna, there's always anxiety comes in. So that difference I saw.
Interesting. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Because Krishna and his devotees are bhavagrahi. They see the heart, they see the intention. Thank you. But material world, they see the results. No matter how much hard work one may have put, if the results are not good, who cares? Thank you. Anyone else wants to say anything on this connection?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So generally, when we, even in satsangas or whatever, like Nandini Mataji was telling, when we serve other devotees, generally we derive more pleasure, more satisfaction than, we being served. So, and even in other cases also, that I have felt for myself. Thank you.
It's so true. It's so true. Gopis serving Krishna. What could Krishna give? He said, I don't have anything to give because you have the best thing. The service to the Supreme Lord. The reward to seva is seva. More seva. Because this gives real bliss. The bliss of serving Krishna. And serving Krishna certainly includes serving Guru, serving Bhagavad Gita, serving Vaishnavas. Of course, serving Vaishnavas is actually greater than serving Krishna, because Krishna himself says, Mad Bhakta Pujya Adhika, and there is greater bliss also, right? So, we all have such experiences, some special experiences. Like one time I was in Goa in 2000, maybe was 10, I think, because I was still in college, 2010. And His Grace Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta came, and I got the chance to do some vapu seva for him by massaging him with oil. And I was thinking, for those who don't know, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta is the personal assistant of Śrī Prabhupada, who used to massage Prabhupada's body with oil. And I was feeling so fortunate. I have not seen Prabhupada. I will never get a chance to massage Prabhupada's body. But I'm getting chance to massage the Prabhupada's personal servant's body with oil. What a glorious servant. And that I cannot forget, that impression, that experience, that joy, that feeling, that emotion, that environment, everything is very deep in my heart. Same as with any, senior Vaishnavas getting chance. Like recently, I was so blessed, fortunate to be with His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj. Practically for 2-3 days, I was with them. Like the whole time they were awake, I was with them. So much, chance to get chance to drive them, to listen to them, to so many experiences, so many things to learn, which are beyond words to express. So these opportunities are very rare to serve devotees, to serve Krishna. So we must be very, very hungry for those opportunities. We must be very, very eager, because we don't know when it will come again, if it will come again. So we should be very, very hungry to grab those opportunities, to serve the Supreme Lord and His devotees to the best of our capacity. This is real bliss, this is real joy, this is real thing which will give. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also explains, Shrushrushaddanasya san bhāgavata-sevayā vipra punya tirthani sevan. Let's read that beautiful verse when we're talking about serving Vaishnavas. It's in, I think, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Shrushadadhanasya Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Which verse is that? Canto 1, chapter 2, I believe, right? Anyone recalls that verse? Affinity for service. Affinity for service. By serving. Let's see. Canto 1, chapter 2, text 16. Shushru Shraddhadanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syan Mahat-sevayā Vipra Punyatirtha Nisevanat. O twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vices, great service is done. By such service, that means serving the devotees, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. So such important words again. When we serve devotees, especially those who are very, very sincere in their serving Srila Prabhupada, serving the movement of Prabhupada for dedicatedly, seriousness, sincerity for a long time, they are not ordinary souls, right? Doing something one day is one thing, 2 days, 1 year, 2 years, one thing, but doing it for 50 years is no joke. No ordinary person can do that. So we should take the maximum advantage, because life is short. We don't know when those opportunities will come again, if at all. And by doing so, we will develop a great, great. We will achieve great heights in our Krishna consciousness. There's another verse in the, I forgot where I read this. Krishna says, if someone serves me, will that person attain back home, back to Godhead? Maybe not. Maybe not. But if someone serves me, my devotee, that person will certainly attain the spiritual world. Of this, there is no doubt. And the story of Kanchipuram, also very, very famous in this regard. Kanchipuram used to ask Varadraj. He would talk to Varadraj. Kanchipurna would talk to Varadraj. He was such an exalted devotee. So one time his servant asked Kanchipurna, can you please ask if I also get back home, back to her? And he asked and said, yeah, you will surely get, because you are serving the great devotee Kanchipurna. And then Kanchipurna said, well, let me try to ask. Well, he said, about you, it's doubtful. Then he's a very exalted. This is one who is talking to the Lord face to face, to the deity. Then he took a humble position and started serving more devotees. So this is the real secret to spiritual progress. The bliss of Krishna consciousness. That's how we link here. The bliss of serving Krishna, which also includes the bliss of seva and any seva. So today morning only I was hearing her this Urmila Mataji that we have to find our bliss. We have to find where we find bliss. Like we have Swarupa is in the spiritual world, when the jiva gets there, we'll find that's fine. We don't need to worry about that much now. But we can certainly, we have to be happy in Krishna consciousness. And for that, we need to find some things or services, devotional activities, which give joy to our heart, right? For example, Nandini Kishori Mataji is it gives so much joy to her to distribute books, right? Mataji, correct? She's so natural. I mean, she doesn't feel pressurized or It boosts her enthusiasm. It boosts her confidence. It gives like nourishment. So we all should also figure out certain services which we feel naturally inspired, which nourishes us more and more. We feel more happy. Of course, that does not mean that, okay, I don't like chanting, so I'll just skip chanting and I'll just do that one. Maybe I like to kirtan. Okay, stop chanting. I like to do kirtan, it gives me joy. Well, if one is a neophyte, a child, that's fine. We don't have to force, just find some way to connect with. But for a sadhaka, sincere sadhaka, one has to have a nice balance to do things which are required of us as a Guru Parampara, and must also find some things which naturally give joy to us. Right? Like Mataji was telling that she likes to teach. Her natural skill is teaching from very childhood. And yes, so in Krishna consciousness, there is so much opportunity to teach. Right? So same, one could be a Buddhist, one could be like a serving prasad, one could like dance, one could like to cook, organize events and festivals, and so much is there accounts. Krishna consciousness is so wide, and there is so much room for anyone and everyone to engage their skills and talents wonderfully, joyfully, and be happy in the bliss of Krishna consciousness. It's a blissful process. We should always remember it's a blissful process. We should be happy. Susukham kartum avyayam. Happy devotee, best devotee. We should not be sad. We should not be morose. The world is going through a very tough time. Everyone is negativity everywhere. We should be happy. We should be happy. That does not mean we don't feel pain to see others suffering. Today one morning only I was hearing this Old Sadhanath Maharaj speaking this. Well, Vaishnavas are par dukha dukhi. How can then we be happy? Isn't it? If we see that this person, has died of cancer, this person's husband is in hospital, this person is suffering so much, this person is in hospital, and Vaishnavas are par dukha dukhi. At the same time, we are Prabhupada chant Hare Kṛṣṇa and be happy. Any thoughts? How can we reconcile that? We see so much troubles around. How can we chant and be happy? Anyone? Tricky question.
Prabhuji, I can try. So happy, by chanting we become happy within. And with that bliss, we can help others and share their, share ourselves with their hardship or the hard time they're passing through. And as we are happy, then we have the energy to serve others when they need some help or we can give our shoulder or by whatever way. But if I'm not happy, then how can I go forward myself to help others? Because I need treatment than myself. That might be the understanding.
Nice point, Prabhu. Nice. Dear Prabhu, have something in mind?
Yeah, sure, bro. I was also thinking similar way, Prabhuji, and also like to add, like when we have troubles, we can feel that, Krishna is near me. He is, kind of testing me, or he wants me to come closer. That's why Srila Prabhupada also said that, he felt the same thing when, his wife gave away his Bhagavad Gita, and so then he thought that all this, like the pharmacy business going down and, all that, Krishna is teaching me that, he wants to remove all these attachments. And like, of course, not in that case, like Kunti Devi was always thinking, Krishna, you were there with us when I have troubles. So now we have everything and then you're going. So I'm just thinking like that, Prabhuji. Please correct me, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
It's true. Yes, Radha Maharaj answered this in this way, that in the hearts of Vaishnavas, they have these two things parallelly, right? They certainly feel pain to see others' pain, paradukha dukhi. At the same time, they are at the Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na Shochati na Kanchiti. How transcendentally they balance it, that a pure devotee knows. It's not easy. Therefore, Prabhupada, we see compassion for the fallen. For others, therefore we pray. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niraman. May everyone be healthy, happy, and Krishna conscious. May no one see any disease, any discomfort, any troubles in their lives. That should be everyone's prayer at all times. At the same time, strength will come to help. If we are happy, then we can share happiness. Krishna consciousness basically means to share the joy of bhakti. And the one can share the joy of bhakti, one who is feeling the joy of bhakti, right? So, okay, one last verse for today, and then the logical kind of topic changes from 13th. So maybe Lakshya Prabhu can read text 12, and then we'll pass.
Yes, Saptama Shloke Aratakari Shloke Yati Nityānanda Tattva Jana Sarva Loke. Translation: I have explained the 7th verse and 4 subsequent verses. By these verses, all the world can know the truth about Lord Nityaānanda. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So this 7th verse is referring to Lila 1.7. And the 4 subsequent verses are referring to text 7 to 11 of this chapter. So 12th is kind of winding up. And then 13th, the next verse will begin, which is 1.8, which again, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Goswami is going to share the meaning in great detail, but that we will cover next time. So we'll pause here. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai, Śrī Caitanya Goswami Mahāprabhu ki jai, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrī Mahāprabhu ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasindhubhya eva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.